What's up, everybody? Welcome into this edition of Warchant TV. Welcome into this edition of Warchant TV. We're live. It's a recruiting show. Michael Langston's in the house here. Use that promo code at the bottom of your screen. I'm tilted, probably making you all feel nauseous. Lower right corner, you can hit the subscribe now button for our YouTube channel. That's totally free of charge all the time. Also, hit that thumbs up button. We would appreciate that. That helps us grow. Like it so we can stick around or something like that. Michael, how are you, man?
I'm fantastic, man. Didn't have a commitment today, so I'm shocked.
Don't jinx it. The night is young. The night is young.
Get a little break. Not doing good, and everything's going smoothly. Things are going to pick up, I think, a lot when we get to these June mega camps, and so there's going to be a lot of activity, and I think FSU isn't probably done with the portal, so I think they're going to try to get one more offensive lineman or somebody else. We'll see. But it's been nonstop, man. How's the new house?
Horrible. Actually, the house is fine. Just trying to work and do my job. It's just not been very. I'm gonna take a photo of this and I'll share it to everybody so you can see the absolute mess of a life that I'm living right now. But no, it's great, man. I got debt just like everybody in America now, so it's super cool. All right. So what sort of level of confidence can you say, Michael, that they? I hate to say it, I hate to put you on the spot like this, but just in terms of them actually having the spot open. Because this whole thing is, I'm frustrated because of what's going on in my personal life right now, but I'm also frustrated by the fact that why can't we not get an easy answer on this? Why do we not know 30 days ago, 60 days ago, how many scholarships they had open?
I don't have an answer to that, Aslan.
Not scholarships open, because they do have scholarships open. They're not going to have 85 guys because of the transfers and people leaving, right. The whole signing limit. It's like, well, you can float it. You can take the average. It's like, golly, can we just make it 25 a year? And if you use it or lose it, but I guess we don't know right now.
We don't know right now. And at first I thought it was like, okay, maybe a high school kid is going to make it. But I've hit up all these kids that are enrolling in the summer, or most of them. I think I got like 2 left that I'm probably going to hit up tonight or tomorrow. So, maybe something with them, but I haven't heard anything as far as that affects high schools that they're not expecting somebody in. So, yeah, if somebody doesn't come in, it's an easy decision. Yeah, you're going to have another spot, because nowadays, if you go to JUCO, you're probably not getting back that spot. FSU's probably not going to wait around for you. They're going to get somebody from the portal and get it done. So I think it's trying to get up in the air. I haven't heard an exact straightforward, like, oh yeah, we can definitely do it. I think it's likely they can add one more, and then the second one would be an outside shot, maybe if somebody didn't make it. So I think it's likely that they can probably add one more. That's kind of the feeling I get.
Okay. All right. That's all we can ask, Michael, just for your gut instincts and such.
Yep.
All we can ask for is people to be kind and participate by giving a call or posting a comment on YouTube. Or you can just be like Bob. Rob, actually. I'm sorry. You see Rob, you see Bob. You want to see? Let's go. Rob's here. Rob's here to help out the cause. Appreciate you, Rob. Just wants to throw $50 our way. Says early pay in case the wife has me doing chores. Thanks for all the great info. Yeah, man. I got plenty of chores over here to do, but hey, I don't have no wife though, man. So I got to get on top of that.
I have a wife, but I'm usually one that does the chores. So,
Hey.
Yeah. She does a lot too, but she just looked at me funny, so that's probably not a good thing. But anyway, but yeah, thanks, Rob. Appreciate the contribution. We're happy to have everyone back. It's exciting. There's a buzz about FSU. I've told people on this board on the board, Aslan, that I have not heard around high school coaches this kind of buzz, the way they talk about FSU since the early years of Jimbo. The way people talk about them, the way things are organized, the way these guys go after things, how aggressive these guys are, the way they establish relationships. I did not hear this. The last time I heard this was the early Jimbo years when he just got started, and you nailed that 2010, 2011 class, and you really saw this thing blow up. So this is the most buzz that I've heard from the high school community, and just even in general, with recruiting of how they're doing, AJ Duffy, Lou Bow, Dylan Gibbons coming in as an offensive lineman, landing a guy that's from a premier program, they're getting, and that's the thing I don't think people take notice enough is like you're getting kids from premier programs. Jermaine Johnson from Georgia, a couple of kids. You got a kid from Auburn. You got a winner in Mackenzie Milton, who's one of the winningest quarterbacks to play. So you got so many guys from that are part of winning cultures, and they're coming to FSU. I think that can't be undersold enough or stated enough that the guys they're bringing in. And recruits are taking notice of this. Several kids that I talked to for the summer interviews that are coming in the summer in 2021, they said that several times that a big thing a part of why they were so sold on what the vision is that they see all these guys that they were bringing in that, hey, there's other people that are definitely sold and something special is happening here.
Right on. All right, we are a call-in show after all, so let's go to the phone lines again. Shout out to Rob for the tip. Get this day started. Very much appreciated. Let's go to Virginia Beach, Virginia. Why don't we? It's Mr. Virginia Beach himself. It's Gator Kirk, everybody. Gator Kirk, how are you, man?
I'm good, Aslan. Congrats on the news dig. Michael, how are you doing tonight?
Fantastic.
All right. I was going to ask a scholarship question, but I think I'm just going to put it on the PRB and see because it's a little confusing.
Okay.
I guess my question tonight is, are any recruits planning on taking official visits on June 1?
I have not heard of anybody that's taken an official visit on June 1st. I think most of them, if they're taking a visit that early, I think there's one visit on June 5th, if I'm not mistaken. Elijah Pritchett is coming in there. He's on the official visit. I updated that. So I think he's coming in. There might be a few more, but I think if they're coming in on that 1st of June or early June, it would be June 5th when most kids are taking their official visits. If they're taking it in early June, I think that's kind of the date I've heard.
Now, will they be able to hang out and watch the mega camp the next day? I think that's on the 6th.
Yes, absolutely. They will. They can watch anything to do with campus. They can go there. They can watch it. They can. I fully expect them actually to be there to watch the coaches coach because they're whoever's hosting them, I'm sure is going to take them over there to see everything. So yeah, they'll see everything to do with FSU, both with the coaches, the campus. Obviously, taking them around campus to see the different aspects of what Florida State University offers academically. And then just pretty much everything you see in an official visit and just wine and dine and all that fun stuff that recruits love for official visits and pretty much experience everything for 48 hours.
All right. Well, that's good. Just to give you all an update, baseball's up 1-0 right now. So hopefully they'll hold on for the doubleheader today.
What happened in the first game, Gator Kirk?
My boy gave up a dinger and we lost in the 9th.
Ah, really? Dang. Well,
He came in the 8th, and I think it was 1st and 2nd with 1 out and threw 4 pitches, and got out of the inning. And then in the next inning, one of the kids hit a dinger, and we were tied 7-7, and we lost 8-7 because we couldn't and we had I always call him me Junior. We had T-Mark. We had the right people up in the top of the 9th and the bottom of the 9th. We just couldn't manufacture a run. So
they were trailing in that game 7-3, so they came all the way back to tie it up 7-7. But
I mean they did well. I mean right now they're bases are loaded and there's 1 out. So, but they just got 2 outs. So we'll see. But I appreciate everything you all do. As always, support Warchant. Make sure you join. Hit that thumbs up. Congratulate Aslan on his new digs, and always has some work to do around the house because there's always a project. And go Noles, and let's keep up this recruiting train. And have a great night.
We'll try. Gator Kirk, everybody. It's Mr. Virginia Beach. Appreciate the phone call, man. He's what we like to call a pillar around these parts. Just real quick, Michael. I mean, that's the floor. It's a floor of my office right now. It's just something. One of them's the modem. One of them's the router. It's just my whole life My whole life is just an absolute mess right now. But we're going to pull through it. You know why? Because we got people like Eric Angel around these parts.
There you go.
What's up, big dog? Let's go, man.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Thank you very much, Eric. Appreciate you, man. You're always around these parts. We do appreciate the loyalty. He says, I like all these newcomers. I think he's what he's trying to say. I like them all. FSU is going to have an outstanding season. I'm ready for Notre Dame right now. 114 days to go. Go Noles. So,
yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I was like, I really didn't know what to expect when I started doing these interviews with these newcomers, but the attitude's there. I mean, you see the attitude, the confidence, and I mean, I think they're bringing in kids that aren't just like, oh, okay, I'm excited to be a Seminole. They're going in there to win somebody's spot or get playing time or play really early. These guys aren't just happy just to be at FSU. So these guys got drive and focus, and it's a fun class to see what these guys can do, because I think there's a lot of excitement. And then obviously the season's around the corner. We got summer camp coming up, so I think that's or fall camp, whatever they call it. I think it's going to be fun to see how these positions work themselves out.
Well said. We'll get to the phone lines here in a second. Khalil, though, got a little something to say. A couple dollar hairs to throw our way. Thank you, Khalil. Appreciate you, man. He asked Michael, who can we credit with the recruitment of the cornerback from IMG, Everett? Are we still in a good place with, Cormani, Tony Mitchell, Jones Jr., and Coleman?
He didn't ask much, did he?
No.
Yeah, the cornerback he's talking about, DB IMG, Dalen Everett. He will be in my 12 to watch. Just you guys give you a teaser for that's coming up. He will be in my 12 to watch. He's a guy that's always liked FSU. I don't know if you attribute a certain person. I would say Marcus Woodson would be a big part. I think FSU is very involved there. I think there's a lot of big dogs involved in this one. You know, Clemson, Georgia, tons of guys. He's going to visit FSU in June, from what I was told. And he's highly interested. This is a guy that can play multiple positions at safety or corner. And he's a guy that's very high on FSU's, close to Duffy, very close to, I think, Travis Hunter. Hunter's done a really good job with him. So I think there's a lot to like as far as them putting themselves and having a shot at this kid. A guy that I think has from the start, even before this buzz started picking up with FSU, he's a guy that's always liked FSU. He's been really high on them. That's a school that I think he followed and liked growing up. Obviously, when you're competing against the big dogs, that's never easy, but certainly a guy that has really good ball skills, tracks the ball really well. That's the thing I noticed when I watch his film. This kid does a great job of tracking the ball. He plays more in a corner, but also he's kind of a jack of all trades, where you can put him at safety or corner. It's kind of like Travis J came into FSU, where you feel very comfortable if you put him at safety or corner. This guy that, because of how he tracks the ball, that's one of his best qualities, I think, is his ability to track things and see the ball and position his body right to make plays on the football. So really good prospect. Kermani, I think he's talking about the kid from Lake Gibson. He's the teammate of Sam McCall and Jalen Glover, both from Lake Gibson. He's considered one of the best defensive backs in the country. FSU's his dream school. I think FSU's the leader for sure there. I think FSU looks good there. I would give them the favorite there. Same thing with Tony Mitchell. I still say FSU is the favorite. That's what he told me to. He come on public record saying FSU is his leader. Jones Jr., I've already addressed that many times, that I've already put my forecast that I think it's going to be FSU. And then with Kevin Coleman, he kind of hinted that he might do something tomorrow, but I think Kevin's probably just going to trim his list down if I had to guess. Usually when kids say, oh, yeah, I guess it's time or to do something, and it's really something more, just either it's trimming the list or announcing what official visits that he's going to take. I think that's probably next in line, I think, for Kevin. I know he has official visit coming up with FSU in June. I haven't been told the exact date. Kevin's going to let me know with that. So that's probably might be finalized already, and maybe that's what he wants to announce. But I think FSU, Alabama are the two teams that I hear the most consistent in this process. Obviously, Alabama speaks for itself. They do a great job of receivers. FSU did a really good job of, they understood like, hey, we can't compete with the Alabamas or the Oregon or the other teams as far as the product on the field at this point. So they took a different approach of relationships. They did a really good job of, we can develop you in showing the excitement of this offense. And I think adding A.J. Duffy, an elite quarterback, which is a big deal to Kevin. He wants to come in with a hotshot freshman top quarterback, and I think A.J. Duffy is without question that. Nico Marcial's also there. He's friends with him too, so he's a solid option at quarterback as well. But I think having Duffy in there, he's just such a national presence as far as across the country that you know for sure this guy's going to be elite when you watch A.J. Duffy play. So I think that was really big to Kevin, and I think certainly that gave FSU a boost. But it's stuff outside of football that really caught the attention of Kevin with FSU, and that really impressed him. And I think if you go out there, and I'm assuming Kevin's going to make a decision like probably during or after the season. So if you can go out there and say you win that first game against Notre Dame and you win 8 games, yes, he's going to be a kid that has the biggest effect on that with FSU. I mean, he's one of those kids that if you have a good season, you could really make a run and make a move and possibly land this kid and Kevin Coleman. So, yeah, Kevin's definitely high on the radar for FSU. So I think that's all the guys you got, Khalil. Hopefully I covered everything, and hopefully I knocked everything out in depth for you, Khalil. Thanks for the $10, man.
That's the price of a month of membership right there. All that information too, Michael. Way to be, man. Let's go to the phone lines again. Thanks, Khalil. Thank you, Eric, and thank you as well, Rob. We do appreciate you folks tipping in, chipping, and it's amazing, man. Even when I'm bummed out, I hop on here and it's like, look at these guys. Look at these guys. I like you guys. All right. Let's go to a little town called The Villages, where there's a man of great substance, great stature. He goes by Wes.
Wes.
Welcome to the program, man.
Hey, good evening, Aslan. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Wes. What's going on, my man?
Not a whole lot. Hey, so my topic tonight is about the transfer portal. A couple months ago, we did a show, and we were talking about, I brought up about, recruiting the coaches and what they've done. We talked about the portal at some point, them factoring that into recruiting rankings. And so my question is, I've got kind of a 2-part to it, but well, let's go with the first part. So back a couple months ago, we were talking about how great the class, the transfers were. And here we are, we just got the kid from Notre Dame, and we believe that there's a chance to get another lineman potentially, or one other transfer. So if you had to compare, not the results on the field last year from what Miami did in their haul in the portal, but if you looked at who they had on paper before the season started versus what FSU's done this year so far, and a potential maybe one more lineman, we'll say, do you feel on paper one is better than the other, or how close they are? Because the results on the field, they did pretty well, with it. So I just thought I'd get an opinion on that.
Yeah, it's a good question, Wes. And I think I would say, I'm not going to say one is better than the other because I haven't seen how these guys perform, but on paper, I think they're similar. When you look at it, it's like, look at what they added. Okay, they added a hot shot quarterback, a productive guy, a winner in Dyree King. FSU adds Mackenzie Milton, a known winner. He's really good. Dylan Gibbons, I think you add in, they got an offensive lineman. This kid comes from, he's been at Notre Dame for several years, so he's a productive guy that knows how to play. He's going to go in there. He's going to add a lot to your roster. I personally think the Dylan Gibbons move was more about, hey, they're probably not going to have Thomas Schrader, who they were going to count on heavily. So I think that's why they decided to make that move. That's just my opinion. And then you look at the other pieces they got, like obviously adding Andrew Parchment. I think he's a really productive receiver that you're adding with a lot more speed. And then And then certainly Jermaine Johnson, you see him added. That kid's had a monster spring. Kind of compare him similar to Jaden Phillips, who just went in the first round for Miami that they got over there. So if you look at it on paper, the two classes for transfer portal looks very similar. So you could have some pretty strong production from these guys from the portal for FSU.
Yeah, I feel you. I kind of felt the same way on paper, very similar. My hope is that the results will be a little bit better for the good guys this year, so we'll see. I think Gibbons, he just wanted to come down and, get some PT and also beat his former team that first game of the season.
Yeah, that's why I was itching to talk to him, Wes, because I've been waiting. I've been hitting his dad up back and forth. We've been going phone tag. So I'm hoping to talk to him because that's kind of be one of my first questions is like, that's very ironic because for people that don't know, Dylan's always, ever since he was a little kid, he wanted to go to Notre Dame. And so he went there. Obviously, it didn't work out at the end. He felt like, like you just said, he wants to go to a place where he has a chance to go in there and start. So I think it's going to be very intriguing just if I do talk to him, what his kind of answer is because that first game, because odds are he's probably going to play a lot. I mean, FSU ain't bringing him in just to sit on the bench. You're coming there to play, and I'm not going to go ahead and project him starting, but he's going to play a lot. So you're going to play a lot probably in that Notre Dame game, and I would imagine that has to have some interesting feelings for Dylan going that game because if you talk to the people in Notre Dame, they love him. They didn't want him to leave. That's kind of a good sign of the type of player you're getting. And two, it's just going to be interesting feelings of just going against them in the first game. So yeah, it's an interesting dynamic and should be fun.
He should be able to provide a little extra help in the scouting them too. That won't hurt.
That doesn't hurt.
So the other thing I had about the portal. So do you think, obviously it's a big benefit for us this year, but do you think it's hurting or helping college football as a whole, or even going forward? How big of an impact, good or bad, do you think?
Well, I mean, some people, there's two sides of it. From the high school side, it's killing it because it's making high schools and JUCO kids less needed. So there's going to be some guys like a Keyshawn Helton type. That wouldn't happen now with FSU because you're going to go to the portal and you're going to get a productive guy like Andrew Parchment. So in some ways, from the high school side of things, it hurts it. But on the pro side of it, you get better fast. You get guys that are productive guys that can help you right now. So from the school's perspective, I think it definitely helps the programs. But from a high school perspective, it really kills it. And I feel for these guys. My heart breaks for a lot of these kids that are not going to get the opportunity because the portal guys are going to be more attractive options to them if they're considering one or the other. Say they haven't committed to FSU or another school, and you're choosing between a portal kid or high school kid. There's good chance they're going to choose the portal kid. So yeah, that's just there's two sides of it. The high school side's kind of it's a downside, but then on the upside is you get better so much faster, and you can get elite dudes, and you can get elite dudes that can help you right now. So I think there's positives and negatives with it, Wes. I'm not trying to sit on the fence here, but it's just there's two sides of it to me.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. You could depends which side you're looking at it at as to how it's viewed. So it makes sense. So one last thing. So we talked about Glover being the next commit. He seems to be kind of just holding and not pulling the trigger. I don't know what's going to happen with June 1st when they open back up and kids come on campus and that. But I'm kind of looking at Quayshawn Sapp to be the next big commitment. Do you think he'll be the next one? You think you'll get somebody in June?
I think you'll get somebody in June because you have several official visits in June. June 11th, Amar Graham visits. I think he could pop then. I think he's a linebacker from South Florida. Obviously, I feel really good about Sapp coming in. He decides July 3rd. I think he made a tweet that he's deciding. I feel really good about that, but that's in July. But you have all these other ones in June. Jalen Glover's official visit, I think it's June 11th, if I'm not mistaken. People can go on the official visits link on Warchant on the front page. You can see that. But I think there's going to be several guys that come in June that officially visit that maybe haven't really set a date, but they're probably going to pop in sometime in June. So I think those guys, the guys that are visiting in June are more the ones that I would watch for as being the next guys.
Yeah, a nice surprise. I think SAP's just a lock for sure, like a guaranteed that first week of July. So maybe you get a nice a surprise or two in June after, the camps and the visits.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a busy, certainly a busy month of June with the mega camp, the different individual camps, and then also all these official visits. So they're going to be hosting kids on in June. It's just like I'll pull this up right now while I got Wes on the phone real quick. I can do this while I do it, kind of on place, kind of talking to you and trying to tell you, just kind of official visits. I mean, they have. Yeah, I'm going through this list. They have like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's like almost 20 kids that have already set up an official visit to FSU. So I think that kind of says where we're at as far as, and a lot of them are in the month of June. I think there's like around 15 or over half of them, probably 70% of them are in the month of June. So I think that's kind of tells you where things are going as far as these official visits, because kids are paranoid if they're going to get all these official visits in, if they're going to somehow shut down the country again and not allow kids to take official visits. So I think a lot of them are rushing into getting these official visits done. But I think that should cover it, Wes.
Very good, very good. So yeah, Glover may still be next. We'll hold out hope. June 11th. That sounds good.
There you go.
All right. Well, thanks for taking my call, Aslan. Good luck getting set up in the new house, buddy. I know that's a lot of fun getting moving in that, but good luck to you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Wes. Thanks for the call as always, man. Don't be a stranger.
All right, you guys. Yeah, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to warchant.com, the best in the business. Go Noles. Have a good evening, Michael. Talk to you soon.
You got it.
That's Wes, everybody. He lives in a little town called The Villages. But it's
By the way, I just looked it up. Glover's official visit is on June 21st.
Michael, we thought we were going to have one like.
Just want to clarify that so people aren't looking back and then watching this video like, hey, you got the visit wrong. But like I said, if you go to our front page and you put your cursor on the recruiting thing and then you scroll a little down on the drop down, you'll see the official visits. They're all listed there. Tells you every kid that's set up an official visit with FSU. So go there, guys. It tells you all of them. You can see it all. Every one of them. Aslan's actually showing you guys.
Official visit date? This exists? I didn't even know this thing existed.
Oh, it just been added lately. It's one of those things that just been added.
Look at this thing. Look at Rivals. Ooh, and it's by school. Look at this. Look at this. Do you need to be a subscriber for this? Or for anybody?
No, I think it's regular. You can see.
Look at this. All right, man. You know what's next, Rivals? Allow us to sort by the date.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe no, it does. It does, but do in the other order.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, you put them in from June and down. That would make it a lot easier.
But hey,
the fact that they were listed is a big deal, and credit to Rivals. They got that done because we complained about it. It's like, hey, we need something we can put official visits to show people like when each guy's visiting. So they got this done, so credit to them for wrapping this up and getting some guys on there.
Hey, real quick, we're going to get to Chris, the pit master in Perry, Georgia. But first, Andre Elam's got a question for Michael Langston.
Okay.
Michael, what do you know about Zion Young, defensive end out of Westlake in Atlanta, 2022? He is a beast. He would love to come to Florida. Say he lives 2 houses down from me. It's June 6th. What do we know about this guy?
A very productive pass rusher, a guy that FSU's been talking to consistently, but he's one of those that they want to see. He kind of mentioned in the camp setting that he's going to be there. It's kind of a guy they want to see in the camp setting, see how he moves, see if his film matches up to what they see like from the film. So right. See him in person, see if he does the things that they're looking for, see if he's 6'5".
Yeah,
as he lists
6'5", 240. Good grief.
Yeah.
Up.
So see if he fits fits those characteristics, and certainly looks strong enough off the edge. I don't see a big time pass rusher, but I see a guy that certainly is very effective as far as on the outside, maybe a strong side defensive end when I look at this kid, but certainly knows how to finish and finish off the tackles and certainly get off blocks. That's the thing I like, but not one of those like crazy edge rushers that just.
Oh, no, look at it. Good change of direction. Like lost track of the ball, but found it like instantaneously.
Yeah.
Look at that, breaking down the pocket. All right. I don't know if he's 6'5", give him a scholarship already.
He might already have one.
Okay. All right. 2022, man. It's a good sized young man. All right. Let's get back to the phone lines then. We have the man, the myth, the grill master himself. It's Chris. He's in Perry, Georgia. Chris, good evening to you. Or good afternoon, I guess. It's 5:30. It's still kind of afternoonish.
How's it going, guys?
Good. Good.
Good. Doing well, man. How are you, Chris?
Well, I could do without the rain we have right now, but I guess I'll survive.
I hear you, Chris.
There you go. I know that.
Anyway, I got a question for you, Michael. Two of them, really. One, we've heard the urgency to get into South Florida and really hit that recruiting trail hard. But what is your feeling on their priority? Hitting South Georgia and maybe even Middle Georgia and a lot of these highly contested schools. They may not be as densely populated, but I know they have a lot of production per capita, I guess you'd call it.
Well, I think it's a big deal to this staff because, if you look at their connections of, Coach Johnson, Coach Atkins, even Chris Marv, a lot of these coaches, I would say half of them, one of their strongest areas is the South Georgia area, even North Georgia as well. So I think Georgia is extremely important to them. I think Florida, they've shown how important Florida is with the guys they've added to their staff, adding Randy Shannon, Sap Joseph, Ryan Bartow, these type of guys that have really strong South Florida connections, but also have connections in Georgia as well. All these guys also are not, shouldn't say all of them, most of them, know the state of Georgia well. So I think their main objective is Florida and Georgia. Georgia is a massive part of their program. If you look at the guys they've recruited and got commits from, a good portion of them are from Georgia. So I think Georgia is going to be a very mainstay for this staff. They're going to recruit it hard. They're going to push hard for these kids to get these kids on campus and get these kids committed to Florida State and getting them inside the program, because I think they're very sold on the Peach State and what those prospects offer when they're on the field. Prospects in the state of Georgia consistently are one of the best. They do. It's a great area as far as just productive guys you can definitely count on that make immediate impacts into programs. So not just with FSU, but just programs overall in the South and just over the country. So I think this staff understands how important the fertile ground of the state of Georgia is.
Yeah, it seemed like the years prior was a lot of missed opportunity. There wasn't as much presence here.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that they're prioritizing that. And then last thing I wanted to ask, I think the way the transfers mesh in and are received by the guys that have been on the team a while is going to be more important than, how good they are. And what's your take with the guys coming off the field after practice on what their opinion of these new guys are, these transfers?
I think it's I think that the point that people don't understand, it's like everyone thinks like, okay, why are they passing on all these offensive linemen? Why are they there's a certain trait and traits that they look for from a culture standpoint and from a personality and characteristic standpoint of, is this guy going to fit the type of players that we already have in the program? So the guys that they're getting are guys that are a lot like the guys that are there. So I think the coaches take in consideration what the players tell them or what the players are like, and just how they know these guys are going to vibe with the players. If there's a character issue problem, that's not a kid they're going to go after. There's an issue where off the field they don't like. I don't care how talented he is. This staff is not going to go after that guy. So I think all the guys have been very well received. That's why these guys connect so well, because their mindsets are very in tune to each other. Mackenzie Milton has the same mindset the way Amari Gaynor has. They have the same focus and goals as far as what they want to do. These aren't guys that are just coming in there to just to finish their career. They're going in there to win. So they all have the same. I think the main thing Norvell wanted to do when he went after these transfers was get everyone that had the same focus and drive to accomplish what we want, and they believe they can accomplish, not just coming in there and saying, "Oh well, I hope it goes well." No, these are guys that believe that they can really turn the program around, and I think they've been accepted like family from the start. But I think the background FSU did with a lot of these transfers is really key. And the point that a lot of fans miss is they do a lot of study on guys that fit their culture. And if you don't fit their culture, I don't care if you're a 5-star, you're extremely productive. I mean, FSU has passed on kids that are extremely productive, but they just didn't fit the culture of what they were looking for. So I think there's several guys they passed on just to get the ones that they know fit everything they're looking for. So I think all of them accepted it really well. I think they're all on the same page, and that's the biggest takeaway I could say with the transfers that come in and then the team they have now. It seems like, if not all, nearly everyone, I would say all, just the way what I've heard, but they're all bought into the same goal and the same work ethic.
Yeah, it was definitely refreshing watching the interviews they did in January, I think, where they had a lot of confidence and maturity they projected. And that was refreshing to hear. But anyway, congrats on the new house, Aslan, and thanks, Michael, for all the work you do. I know you put in a lot of hours.
No problem, man. We're glad to do it, Chris. We drop by anytime, give us a call anytime, and we'll chat some more.
All right, fellas.
That's Chris, everybody. He's a pit master. Means he really knows how to barbecue food. He's in Perry, Georgia.
Aslan could use some of that right now.
Yeah, I could use some barbecue. I'm a little bit hangry. A little bit hangry, a little bit this, a little bit of that. Shout out. Let's get this out of the way. All right, so Khalil wants to pick a fight, which is cool because I'm in a fighting mood. First off, thank you for your money. Appreciate it.
Dollar bills, y'all.
This is something that Corey and I said that he was upset. Well, I shouldn't upset, but he took an umbrage, exception with what we said like a week or so ago. Josh Sweat didn't do a whole lot in college. Josh Sweat in college, 138 tackles, 29 TFLs, 14.5 sacks, and 1 interception. That was for Aslan and Corey, LOL. All right, man, the lines are open. Somebody can call me and tell me a game that Josh Sweat took over and disrupted and made an impact. I'm all ears. Okay, he played for 3 years, man. Divide that stuff. 138 tackles over a 3-year career. Like, you start, you're on scholarship. Thank you. And I know this is me like crapping on the guy. I'm not trying to. I'm glad he's doing well in the NFL. He's a 4th-round pick. I think he's on to his 2nd contract. That's great to see. But in terms of like impact defensive end, Brian Burns, impact defensive end. DeMarcus Walker, big time impact defensive end. I don't put Josh Sweat in that same category. I don't put Janaris Robinson in that same category. I don't put Josh Kando in that same category. If you think that Josh Sweat's career at Florida State was awesome, was the #1 overall player in the country, which he was before he injured his knee, I think he performed like a 5-star, which is fine, man. Like, he was hurt. I get it. Weird program. Things were moving in a weird direction or whatever. But he's doing well in the NFL. I'm happy for him. But, like, come on, man. We're going to do this exercise, Michael? We're going to act like Josh Sweat was awesome?
Yeah, I mean, and Josh Sweat was a 5-star coming out of high school. So if you're a 5-star, you got to give 5-star production. And as Aslan said, if you pick one game that he just really just destroyed people, that's one. Like DeMarcus Walker, I could pick 4 games that DeMarcus Walker just took over. Miami, Florida, every year he dominated them. So if you can't,
we don't beat Ole Miss in 2016 without DeMarcus Walker.
Right. If you can't pick games where a guy took over, like Brian Burns, I can name games where he just took over, just dominated people. So compare Brian Burns, compare DeMarcus Walker to Josh Sweat, and then you can yeah, I agree. It's not fair because Josh Sweat was coming off of 2 ACL injuries. So yeah, it's not the same situation. Was he a productive guy? Yes, he was productive, for a career, but he wasn't dominating. He wasn't a guy that just is comparable to those two guys. So yeah, I think he had a decent career, but it wasn't 5-star quality career.
He's got another question. We'll bounce to it here in a second. Gator Kirk did some research for us. Zion Young, the player from Westlake that Andre Elam asked about, currently has no Power 5 offers. His offers are Eastern Kentucky, Georgia State, Western Kentucky.
Oh, there you go. Well,
good to me. Shoot, I'd give him an offer. What do I know?
Well, the summer is when – that's why you bring kids in for these summer visits, because you want to see what they look like. And FSU's shown they don't care who's offered them or who hasn't offered them. If they pass the test of what they're looking for, if he passes what Coach JP's looking for, or Coach Odell what they're looking for, kid's going to get an offer. Now, I think FSU's probably in a consistent boat with a lot of schools that they want to see this kid on their campus and see him work and see kind of what his characteristics and skill set is. So there you go.
Rose, no-blooded, chances landing Bishop Thomas.
I think it's a good shot. I think there's a solid shot. As people will know, see those little 4 stars up there, guys? What I tell you about a couple of months ago when this kid didn't have a ranking. He's now 4 stars. He's special. Like, he's elite. He's best friends with Byron Turner, who we did a feature on, the 2021 class. If you guys haven't seen it, go read the Byron Turner thing, the Boogeyman. He's awesome. They're really they're best friends. He loves Coach Yak, loves Coach Hagens. This kid has some of the best film I've seen for 2022 defensive tackle. I don't think I've seen a better film than what this kid brings. I mean, this kid gets off blocks so violently, and his athletic ability is just ridiculous. I think there's a clip in here of this kid playing tight end and scoring as a tight end on one play, but athletically, he is a freakazoid when you watch him. I mean, so I think they have a good, solid chance. I think he's going to officially visit Texas, Ole Miss. I think Tennessee also, and then Florida State, I think, is going to get an official visit too as well, probably late June. So I definitely think there's a good shot. They've definitely positioned themselves. I would pick FSU as of today. I feel pretty good about that pick. Just when you base on the early relationships, the fact that this kid can play early at FSU, a position of need at defensive tackle, I think FSU makes a lot of sense for laying this kid. And his best friend just happens to be at Florida State. So I think good shot.
So he's from Louisiana. He moved to Florida?
Yeah, he's from New Orleans.
Okay.
He's from New Orleans. He played at St. Aug. And he transferred over to, ironically, Bishop Moore.
Well, there he is. There he is playing tight end, catching the ball. Look at the big guy.
Yeah, he's a freak, man. Watch this play, Aslan. Watch this tight end play. I think it's a tight end play, if I'm not mistaken. I've watched this film like 100 times. Oh, yeah, here you go.
Man, oh, look at this guy. Let's go. All right, sign him up, man. I'm all about it.
Yeah, he's good. I love him. I'm happy for Bishop because I think he finally got the recognition that he deserved. I told people when people complained and cried and whined, oh, why are they offering a no-star guy? It's like, go turn on his tape. You tell me that's a no-star guy if you turn on his tape. No, that's a 4-star, and he's probably going to be a Rivals 250 or a Rivals 100 guy. If he shows that kind of production we saw on film and during his season, he's going to be a guy that moves up. So I'm happy for Bishop. Congratulations, Bishop, if you're watching, dude. I'm happy for you. A great prospect and one that's certainly blowing up.
Khalil asks us the question I'm going to get back to. Your thoughts on Jordan Eubanks? Recently watched his tape. Very versatile. Looks like he could get early playing time with Emmett possibly being out. Jordan Eubanks. Yeah,
Jordan Eubanks from Texas. Guy that plays mainly outside linebacker, strong safety. I think FSU right now is bringing him in the outside linebacker. That seems to be the place that they like him the most. Instincts in space is really good. Gets a lot of pass breakups. One of the more intriguing guys I don't know if I'd go in there and say, oh, he's definitely going to lead a lot of playing time. I think there's going to be a learning curve of the speed of the game. So he still might be one of those redshirt candidates as far as it just depends on how quickly he picks things up.
He's linebacker, though. He's a linebacker, right?
Yes.
think I saw. I don't know.
Yeah, they play him some at outside linebacker and some at the safety position. They mix him around because he's so athletic and very good in space. He can come off the edge at times really good, and they use him in a lot of different different ways.
Yeah. Well, look at that. He knows how to play zone, passing things off behind him. Well done.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
that's a nice little luxury. All right, very well then. Let's keep it rolling here on the live show with Michael Langston here on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button, folks, if you haven't already. We would appreciate it. Let's see here. What do we have on here? Daniel Gibbs. See, I said it last year. Norvell is starting to put a recruiting juggernaut together in the mix for a lot of top-tier players. Daniel Gibbs, everybody. Called it. Called the shot.
you nailed it, man. Yes, I've said this I've stuck with this, that I felt so comfortable when I saw the hire of Mike Norvell, when I studied all the different tendencies that this guy had, the way he prepares, the way he understands what the standard at Florida State is. I knew there would be the struggle the first year because you have to bridge things. You're fixing all the crap that happened before you. So there was a lot of stuff that was a grunt and a grind and to fix it. But I knew once he would get there once he established a roster full of guys that bought in. And now they've done that. And this isn't talked about enough. I just absolutely love what he did with these youth camps. For those that haven't followed, Ira Chaffel did an incredible job of write-ups on the ones in South Florida. Did some in Palm Beach County, Broward, Dade. I think this week they're in Jacksonville, going to be in Kissimmee near the Orlando area. I think in Tampa and Bradenton. So this is big because you're telling young kids and young programs most of the time kids would have to come to your city. No, don't worry about that, dude. We'll come to your city and we'll host a camp in your city. So, I mean, that says a lot when you reach out and you push so hard to want to get that done at somebody else's place to establish early relationships. And that's a big deal, Aslan. I don't think people really understand that you're reaching out to these places and saying, hey, we want your kids. We want your players. We want you. All you have to do is come out and we'll work you. We'll camp with you. We'll work with you. We'll coach you up.
Well said. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it, man. We don't do the horn for less than $10, though. I'm just kidding. It's all good. Let me pull up here, Daniel. Somebody had a question. Dan Squatch. Do Sapp and Willis play on the same team?
Yes. Quayshawn Sapp and Jerron Willis play on Lee County. And I went to several games over there. Fun place, fun area. Quayshawn plays offensive guard, and then they played him a little bit on defense, but I don't know if they're doing that anymore. So he mainly plays offensive guard, and then Jerron plays kind of an outside linebacker, strong safety spot on Lee County. So, yep, they're pretty good, Dan. They're really loaded, and they're one of the national best teams out there annually every year. Lee County, they're fun to watch.
Andre's giving some more information. Gator Kirk lit a fire under him. Saying Gator Kirk, what was the young kid's name again from Westlake in Atlanta? What was it?
Zion Young.
Yeah, Zion Young, yeah. Great issues, missed some games last year, but he's gotten together. He's a baller. Trusts the eyeball test. I thought his tape looked good, man. I really did. He's Florida State's calling constantly, he says. If he shows well June 6th, he'll be offered before he leaves campus. There you go. Look at that. Breaking news.
I could see that, Andre. I don't disagree with that. And that's why these guys that are coming to mega camps are guys you're serious about. That's why they call it the mega camp. These are guys that they're most serious about. We love your film, but we want to see that you're matching up with what we see. So I think any kid that comes on the 6th, they're serious about, where they're telling you hey, we like your tape, but we want to see how you do when we coach you.
Right. All right. I think this might be the last one. We 5:56. So Brandon asks, Jacob Gall, you land him.
Buffalo. I don't know what they're the Bisons. Are they the Bisons? University of Buffalo. I don't know. Jacob Gall is probably the highest rated graded blocking guy that I've probably seen that FSU is active with in some capacity. I would say if they did recruit him, it would probably be a center, if I had to guess. But center and guards where he mostly plays. I think I saw read where one place where it had him 90% blocking. So this kid is certainly highly regarded. He's one of the best. So suppose the green.
Blue and green.
Yeah, he's really good.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's really good. I don't know if they land him. I know they're active with him. I put this on my transfer portal thread. He's a guy that I know has communicated with Alex Atkins. I don't know how serious they are. I haven't heard the phone call has happened, which is usually a dictate of, yeah, they're definitely all in and pushing, but he's definitely a guy that they're intrigued and interested in, and the communication I've heard is continual. So it hasn't stopped. So I think he's a guy that they're certainly very interested in, but it gets to a point where, I want to hear the phone call because the phone call really is what matters. But yeah, this kid definitely passes the eye test when it comes to his blocking grades and
that's absurd. That's absurd. That's the best offensive graded lineman. Like that tenfold over what Florida. That's dude. I mean, you put Love Taylor left tackle, this guy at left guard, Maurice Smith your center, right guard. The Gibbons kid, and then right tackle, you put Robert Scott. Like,
I'm down with it. You don't have to convince me. This would be my one that if people ask me which one do you want the most, it's in the portal.
This kid.
This is the kid that I would want the most because I can trust him in blocking. He's an extremely good blocker. He finishes well. I love the way he uses his hands. Run blocking is tremendous. I mean, some of those run blocking I think was 89. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't think anybody I've seen the FSU's recruiting in the portal has 89, but he's definitely one that's high on my radar. But I'm not an FSU coach, so it doesn't matter what I think. But that's my opinion on it.
That, according to Pro Football Focus,
there you go.
Jacob retweeted himself. So his Twitter is Gall_Jacob. This guy looks like Matt Nelson. Like he could be related to Matt Nelson of Florida State baseball fame. So you follow him, everybody. Tweet at him. Highest grade offensive. I mean, I think I can say that. That's not against the rules.
No, it's not.
I take it back. Pro Football Focus, highest grade offensive lineman by position. He was the highest graded left guard in the entire country.
There you go. See, I wasn't lying. 90%, guys.
I mean, just.
Aslan's like, sign him now.
I mean, I don't know. However, whatever they did to Dylan Gibbons, I hope they did to this kid, and even more so. But then Gibbons is from Clearwater. Just I think Jacob Gall's from the Midwest. I don't know exactly where he's from. So being able to come home is obviously a big sell for him. But yeah, look at this. He's a good team guy, retweeting his team success. Gall_Jacob. Tell him, bring that 90 to the Hassie. That would help out. All right, Michael. Call queue is empty here now, and I think the call questions are slowed down to a trickle. I don't see any other questions left here. So what do folks have to look forward to over on warchant.com, the Ultimate Seminoles Sports Source, as you sit here and multitask and text and DM and keep everybody abreast of everything at all?
I was actually texting Diane, for people to know. That's my wife. So she was asking me what's for dinner. But even though she forgot, I guess I was having a chat. But yeah, we have our 12 to watch features coming up. I still have one more remaining summer interview that I did with George Wilson, defensive end for Virginia Beach, Virginia. We have that kind of interview coming up. But the 12 to watch is the thing that I think people care much about. And just because I care about you guys, before we even started this chat, I went in there and answered all your questions, and I put a few nuggets on the board about recruiting chat, and I covered some things, but everything details in there. I've answered every question. There's a few more remaining that answered after we started the chat, so I'll go in there and I'll answer a few of those, but most of the questions have already been answered. It's on the PRB. Go there, guys. You can read everything, and then 12 to Watch is coming up probably in the coming days.
There we go. Look at these people. So Derek's going to start a GoFundMe for Jacob Gall. Eric, shout out, $20 for so I can get a doormat.
There you go.
There you go, Eric Ames. I appreciate that, man. I will. I'll get your design taste on it. Thomas is in the crib, 7 Toms. Throwing in there as well. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
This is the first time I've seen Aslan smile since we started. So Aslan's happy with these little warming gifts, guys. I understand, man, moving in, man. It's a pain.
It's a long week, man. It's just by yourself, man. It's just like it's a lot to do, but we're gonna figure it out. And I'm still working, everybody. We're not no days off. We are in full Bill Belichick mode over here, taking no days off. As Michael said, check out the PRB, the Premium Recruiting Board, for the latest and the greatest on Florida State. Thank you, Eric Angel, Daniel, Khalil, Andre, and Rob for your tips on our show. We'll do one of these again at some point, probably June.
Few weeks.
There we go. So thanks again, everybody. Appreciate it. He's Michael. I'm Aslan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you over at warchant.com. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't so on the way out. Thanks again, everybody.